everybody, today I'm going to be doing a review on the Wet n Wild Vice City collection, which includes eyeshadow palettes and also glosses. So this is a really fun collection. If you've been following Wet n Wild for a couple of years now, you would know that these little capsule limited edition collections are usually pretty great, like really great. So I was really wowed when I saw such bright colors in the drugstore. My childhood self lost her damn mind because these are the kind of shadows I was looking for when I was a kid. But I see a lot of 90s. Like I look at this and I see like 90s style instantly, just pops right out at me. But I had a great time swatching these up and creating eye looks. I actually did this eye look today using this shadow palette right here. The few things I have to say about formula is these were kind of chalky. Like they left a lot of fallout. And that was the only bad thing. Other than that, these were super pigmented, and had they been released last year when Urban Decay's electric palette came out, these would have definitely been the great drugstore dupe for that, including this purple right here, which the purple in the electric palette was not eye safe, if I recall correctly, and this one is eye safe, so it's very similar in shade. But I'm gonna swatch these all up for you, and I'm gonna start with High Flying Colors. High Flying Colors is definitely for those of you who like cooler shades. By the way, it does include an applicator, but I hate the applicators that come with these shadows. So I'm just going to use my finger, and when I applied it, I'm going to tell you how I applied it at the very end. So this is High Flying Colors. The first shade is a nice clean silver. Very pretty. The next shade is a light baby blue, which has a little bit of an iridescence in it. See, this is the silver, this is the blue. Then we have another kind of shimmery blue, but it's a little bit darker, which you can see the shimmer here. Really reminds me of the ocean. And then we have the last shade, which I just loved the pigmentation of this. It's a nice deep blue. So this really reminded me of the ocean, these four shades. And on the other side, we have our pinks and purples. First shade is a nice light, again kind of shimmery pink. Then we have a really opaque bright pink, really bright. Do you see how pigmented that is? Then we have a somewhat shimmery lilac purple. You can see the difference between the matte and the shimmers. And then we have a really bright purple. Watch it right down here. Very opaque, very opaque shadows right here. And I love the differences in finishes that they mixed in the mattes with the shimmers. That palette really just screams to me Lisa Frank. Am I the only one that looked at that one and was like, Lisa Frank? Like Lisa Frank on my eyes now. The next one is the one I'm wearing now, and this was Boardwalk Boozing, because who doesn't love a good alcoholic themed eyeshadow palette? Again, I don't like the applicator, but I want you guys to just look at how bright this is. Now, I think some of you were worried that these wouldn't be as opaque or as bright as they looked in the palette. I assure you, just as bright. But again, a little bit crumbly, so be soft, be gentle with these. So we have a really bright yellow. This reminded me of a yellow from MAC. Oh, Chrome Yellow. This one reminds me of Chrome Yellow from MAC, and it's a nice matte yellow. Then we have a matte peachy shade. I would say it's orange, but it definitely is like an orangey peach shade. Like I feel like there's peach in this orange. Let me do a better yellow swatch for you guys. I feel like I didn't do that enough. Then we have a really bright matte pink shade, really matte, really bright, and then we have a bright blue shade. So these are definitely for the more daring, and that only looks streaky because my bone is there. It's not actually a streaky color, not actually a streaky shade. And then on the flip side, we have a bright silver, very similar to the silver in the other palette. We have a bright lime green. It swatches better, just the angle I'm at. So, and my hand's a little stained right now. Then we have a darker green, like a more like foresty green, and then we have this purple, which is just to die for. It has a little bit of a pink shift in it. A little bit of a pink shift. Last but not least, this is the only one I didn't really understand, and this was Temporary Solutions, which again is another alcohol reference. Parents must be loving these. If their teen girls are wearing them, you guys must be like, I don't know. I mean, I really don't care. Like, if my daughter told me, oh my god, look, it's Temporary Solutions, I wouldn't care that it's alcoholic named. But I would have to kind of explain what that means. I would just be like, oh, shadows, not makeup. But this one I didn't understand too much. I like the yellows and the greens, but I feel like this side is actually applies much differently than in the pan. Like in the pan they look very similar, but when you swatch them they do look different. This side kind of confused me because it was just too much red, in my opinion. Even though we have like a peachy red, a pink, like a fuchsia pink, and then we have an actual true red, which is really nice to see in the drugstore. Like, I'm not complaining about that. I just feel like in terms of an eye look, we have reds and greens. Like, we're gonna wind up looking like Christmas. I feel like when you do the green shadows, you can apply them with the yellow and the white and it looks great. And then when it comes to the red shades, like these two shades right here, it's like your only options really are yellow and white and maybe the pink, because otherwise it might come off a little too Christmas, like in my opinion. But the pink you can pair, but a pink and green, again, for me, I just feel like this was like, oh well, what other shades do we have? We can throw them together. But that being said, the quality was really good. Just the shade picks. So we have another yellow. This one's slightly different than the other yellow. As you can see here, it's a little bit of a warmer yellow than the other one, the other palette. Then we have a nice kind of like a plant green shade. And then we have a shimmery green shade. This one I loved. This one was actually one of my favorites. And then we have a blue-green shade here. I like the shade too. So these shades alone, like this, as you can see, if you look at it here, it looks really alike, but then when you swatch it, you can see there's definitely differences in these shades. This definitely gives me like that jungle feeling. Now to prepare to go on a journey of confusion with me, because this other side just confuses me. So we have a nice clean matte white here, and it actually performed really well. Then we have like a peachy orangey red. And then we have a bright fuchsia red. Not fuchsia red, we have a bright fuchsia pink. And then we have a true matte red. And as you can see, they're very pigmented, but they're very similar. Like, yes, this is orange, yes, this is pink, this is red. But these, you can tell apart instantly. These, not as much, I feel. Like, I feel like they're too... and they stain a little bit, so you're gonna have stained eyelids when it comes to that if you're not careful. I feel like they maybe could have did a better gradation. Like, had they done a gradation kind of like the sunset, I would have been all for it. Like, I would have understood it. But just the white and then the orange and then the pink and the red, I just didn't understand it. But that doesn't at all diminish the fact that these are high quality shadows, really pigmented, really bright. The only problem I have with these shadows is that if you want them to last a long time, you're going to want to put them over a primer, or even NYX's NYX's Jumbo Pencil in Milk. It will extend the wear time and they will perform brighter. If you are having problems with fallout, pat them on with a dense flat brush. You will not experience as much fallout as opposed to if you were using a fluffy brush. I found that the more shimmery shades, like the purple, the silver, anything that was a little bit shimmery or iridescent, performed well with any kind of brush, whether it was a fluffy brush or not. But the actual matte shades did need to be patted on and then blended out for best performance. I did see fading after 2 hours without using a primer or concealer or whatnot on the eye. When using a primer on the eye, I've seen upwards of 8 hours of continuous good wear. So you can pick these up in the drugstore. I believe they are $5.99 or $4.99 each, and they are limited editions. These are the Color Icon Lip Gloss glosses in lots of fun and beautiful shades. They all have alcoholic names, which I would love to straight up read to you, but however, when you take the labels off, so come off the names. But thank goodness I took a picture before I took the labels off. So I'm going to go base by number, and we're going to go by the name. But I do have to tell you one thing. While these glosses performed really well, they weren't sticky, they weren't tacky, they didn't feel gritty on the lips. I didn't like the applicator, and they're all clear. Every single one of them is clear, pretty much. They just leave a slight tint of color, which matched with the eyeshadows makes sense, because the eyeshadows are super, super bright shades. I couldn't see them releasing like super pigmented lip products with the eye products. It wouldn't have made sense. Like doing a more nude look, shimmery lip look would definitely go with the shadows that they had in this collection. I was kind of hoping that they were tinted. Like this peach color, I thought it was going to be a nice neutral peach color, and it wasn't. Very disappointed. I'm going to start with the first shade, which is this orange shade right here. And this one's called Lying in the Sangria. As you see, it's high shine, high sparkle. So as you can see, it's high shine, high sparkle. You have a doe foot applicator, and then when you apply it, it's pretty much clear. There's a slight tint, but it's not that apparent on the lips. The next one is Will You Bloody Marry Me? And this is a red shade. Again, just a slight tint. It's funny that the orange one was more pigmented than the red one. The next one is Zinni Dipping, which I was really hopeful for. I was like, oh cool, purple hint of color of shade, and then it was just pretty much, again, clear. Pretty much clear. The only thing that's really nice is the glitter in all of these is different. Like the purple one has a little bit of that subtle like pinkish glitter, and the peachy one has a peachy glitter, like a peachy shimmer, but they really, it's not that apparent unless you're in the right light. So these are great to wear to the beach and whatnot, but if you're indoors you might not see it. The next one is Apple Teeny of My Eye, and I knew this one would be clear because it's green, but I didn't expect it to be like, I didn't expect the other ones to be so clear. And this one has a very pretty like golden greenish shimmer in it. This one's rather clever. It's Mai Tai by Buy You a Drink, like Mai Tai the drink. And this one has a nice silver shimmer in it with a clear base, clear pink base. And last but not least is Saved by the Bellini. And I was really hoping that this would be like a nice peachy shade, maybe creamy, and it's really just, it's clear. So you can see the tint on my hand, but let's all be realistic. Nobody's lips are that color. We all have a little bit of pink in our lips, so these are really going to show up more as just a shimmer with a slight tint if you really pile them on. My best suggestion to you is that if you want to get the most out of these, I would say pair them with a lipstick shade that's very similar to the shade. So for example, I might pair this with Real Sexy from MAC, and the glitter in it, the shimmer in it, plus the tint of it will really complement the lipstick. Same with the red. So if you're pairing these shades, it would absolutely make them work better. Or if you put them over a liner, so you don't want to make it too heavy, because the whole idea about summer makeup is it's supposed to be light. So lip glosses that aren't necessarily super pigmented are well within the norm of the season. That being said, if you want to keep them light, just wear them as is, or if you want to wear them where you can see them just a little bit more clear, you can match them with lipstick or liner underneath to get that pop and the shimmer. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. I have included picture swatches. Please be sure to follow me on Instagram. I'm Recycled Stardust. Thank you so much for watching.